Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I want to talk to you about something that it's kind of becoming that elephant in the room, and I know a lot of you have already noticed it. You've already been talking about it. You knew about this. I've seen some of the comments. I've talked to some of you in person. I've talked to you through emails. So it's not like it's shocking news to a lot of you, but some of you are still asleep. You're going to be mad at me. I'm going to see in the comments, I promise you, in this video, there's going to be comments that, oh, you'd much rather had Kamala Harris, or, oh, you must be a liberal, or, oh, just give it time. He's only been in office for 100 days. It's got to take time. I see all that. And the problem is that people have put too much faith into one person, and then they've bought this line, and they see things that are happening that seem to be pretty good, at least some of it. And it's better than what we had, right? It's better than what we could have had, right? So it must be all right. Except that's deception. That's part of the deception, is to throw the worst at you, and then to make you to believe that this alternative is so much better. And what I want to talk about specifically is that we are watching the rise of the police state in ways that maybe has never happened. Probably the biggest it's ever really seen in this way is probably since George W. Bush. A lot of people know this, but some of you don't, that the police state exploded under his presidency. And we're starting to see that happen now. And even if it's not so much the police state, we're watching the government's powers expand in a lot of ways. And right now it's being done for good reasons, right? And people are okay with it. They're okay with seeing the president go outside of the checks and balance system that our Constitution set up to tear down bloated government that has, gone too far, and that has, spent too much money. And even though a president has never before, in many ways, used the powers that Trump is using to do that, it's being done for good, so we're okay with it. Except, well, government, once a precedent has been set, government continues to use that power. And so could Trump, a year or two from now, use those same powers that he's established to do things that we don't like? He doesn't have the best track record when it comes to guns, especially during his first time in office. And although he has talked at times of being super pro-life, he's not. There's just certain things that if he decided to use this authority that he has taken, created, whatever, if he used that for bad, well, that would be really a bad deal. What if the next guy is someone like a Kamala Harris or a Joe Biden or a Barack Obama, or even worse, and that precedent has been set? It goes beyond that. We have right now, under the Trump administration, for the first time in American history, a national identification system has been implemented under the Trump administration to collect your data and have it nationally known, and tell you that you cannot, your movements are restricted in this country if you do not have this national form of ID. That was implemented starting this month by the Trump administration. Digital identification is already there, pushing for digital currencies. This infrastructure of artificial intelligence and digital is being pushed just yesterday or the day before. The Trump administration made some sort of statement that the United States will be the top dog, the reigning champion when it comes to artificial intelligence. We will be the best. And I'm not so sure that that's a thing to brag on. I know what the alternatives you're going to say. Well, what do you want? You want China to be the top? Do you want Germany? Do you want Iran? Do you want some other country? Someone's going to be the top dog when it comes to AI. Might as well be the United States. I guess that's one way to look at it. But we're the ones that live here, and we're the ones that have to put up with this system that has the ability to control. Today, in Congress, a House committee, now this doesn't mean it's a bill or anything like that, but in committee, House Republicans voted to basically deport U.S. citizens to foreign prisons. The whole deportation thing, I understand that word is a gray area, but basically to take U.S. citizens and send them off to foreign prisons. This has been something that Trump has talked about. And I know that some of you are saying, hey, this is a good thing. We can save money. We can get rid of all these bad people. You know, what you want all these bad people here in the United States, and then they go to prisons where we have to pay ridiculous amounts of money, and then they have all these chances to get out and do bad things. Yeah, I get the alternative. But that's how this game is being played, is they give you two choices. One's really, really, really bad, and one's bad, but it's a lot less bad than this one, so you take it. I mean, what if Trump decides at some point to deport people that don't support him? Or what if the next president that gets in is someone even worse? And now there's a precedent set. There's law that's been passed, potentially. It hasn't been yet, but it's potential, that American citizens could be rounded up and sent off to foreign prisons because of whatever they say. I mean, this is something that we should be talking about a lot more. The problem is that when anyone talks about this, you're labeled as some Trump hater or communist or liberal or all this kind of stuff. And that's also part of the game, folks. That's part of how it's played, is to label opposition in a way so that now they can all be hated. Actually, that's actually one of the steps in cultural genocide, is to label the opposition and criticize them in a way that they are now considered outcasts. And unfortunately, people aren't waking up. I know there's going to be all kinds of people that say they unsubscribe. I'll watch the numbers today drop down. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Well, what do I have to lose, right? The numbers have already been rocketing downwards for a while. So what's it matter? What matters is getting the truth out. And this kind of stuff that's happening, people need to wake up. You know, all this shutting down of government offices and agencies, well, they're not really shutting them down. They are firing employees in a lot of times, but that's being replaced with artificial intelligence and a lot less employees running that. So the government really isn't shrinking. It's just getting rid of a lot of dead weight and then using AI to run it. This is what they were talking about not that long ago with the Department of Education. You know, well, we'll get rid of a lot of employees and we'll replace it with artificial intelligent algorithms and a few data people to kind of run them. This is a problem, folks, and people need to wake up. We are watching a police state in ways that we have never seen. You know, a digital national ID that will most likely become digital, pushing for digital currencies, pushing for artificial intelligence involvement in government and daily life, making it legal for the government to take an American citizen and remove them from this country and imprison them in a foreign prison. This is some really scary stuff, even if right now the reasons it's being done for are good. Even if we are taking these hardened, horrible criminals and kicking them out and putting them in these prisons elsewhere, it's setting a precedence, folks, and we have to wake up. And if you believe that just because it's Donald Trump, he would never do anything bad with it, or that there's never again going to be, you know, a president that would actually use those things for bad, you know, reasons, you need to wake up. Because this is how nations kind of spiral out of control. They don't just start off being this evil mass killer. They start off implementing policies and laws for the safety and security of the people. I mean, it happened in Nazi Germany, it happened in communist Russia, in communist China, and many other places. We have to do this for the safety of the people. We have to do this because there's this bad segment of society that we have to protect ourselves from. We have to do this to save money. We have to do this for the homeland. And then the next thing you know, it's being used for really bad reasons. And I'm not saying that that's exactly the direction that we're going. I'm saying that we're going in a bad direction kind of fast, and people need to wake up. And amazing to me is so-called conservatives are cheering this on. They're cheering this on. Yeah, we need to have national ID so that we can have a national voting, and that way we can make sure that, illegals aren't voting. Yeah, we need to make sure illegals aren't voting, but I don't think I'm supporting a national identification and national voting system to get that done. Well, we need to have the ability to take all these hardcore criminals and kick them out of the country and put them in some third world prison because they're horrible and they're tearing the country down. Yes, exactly. We do. We need to do something about these horrible criminals, but setting a precedence to take American citizens and kick them out of the country, I'm not sure I want to go there. Do we really want to open that box? Do we really want to open that door? I mean, that's like Pandora's box. People need to start thinking about it and stop blindly supporting something just because the person leading it looks really good and talks really good. Doesn't mean that he's a horrible person, but some of these policies that are being put into place or even talked about could lead us to a really dark place in this country. And people need to wake up and think about it. We may not be there today. We probably won't get there tomorrow or next week. But we are going down a path that could lead us to some really bad places that history has already seen before. It's time to get your houses in order and get prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.